All right, welcome to Football Focus Weekly. This is the last preseason show. Very excited to be back again tonight. After last week's Marathon Charlotte show, I can assure you that we will be back to our normal hour format this week. You see what we got on the show tonight? We have county rankings by request. After the Charlotte show, I always get requests from multiple counties across the state to do rankings for them. We're gonna, keep it local as possible. So we've got Rowan, Stanley, and Iredell county rankings, and we ranked those counties last year. So we're bringing that back. Then we're going to introduce the Dirty Dozen rankings. The Dirty Dozen is a regional poll that I do that is inclusive of specific counties. And we made a change this year in the eligible counties for that poll, and we'll talk about that a little later. Then we're going to give you a list of scrimmages and jamborees going on this weekend and one local game of interest that their regular season is getting started this week, a little early. So we'll talk about that. And then finally, we are going to end the show with some chicken wing analysis. And this is very important because there was a breaking news kind of segment that we found out about yesterday that warranted us to go out into the city and analyze a new option in the chicken wing business. So we're going to talk about that and inform you because you may not know of this breaking news, but you can always count on CFI to be your chicken enthusiast. That being said, I'm going to run the intro and we'll be right back in about a minute and 10 seconds. If the intro wants to work. I don't know why the intro is not working today. Interesting. All right, well, maybe we won't run the intro. We do have one comment. Let's see who that is. All right, so the chat administrator is here in the building from work. Wow, what dedication that is. Okay. Why is none of my stuff working? I might have to refresh here. I apologize. We are having technical issues. I don't know what is going on over here. I mean, I lost everything. And then they said I didn't have internet. So I apologize for that. I guess that's why the intro wasn't working because I'm clicking on it and it won't run. So, yeah, I disappeared. It said I lost internet, but everything is up over here. So someone's trying to sabotage the show. And I got a good idea who it is. I'm going to leave it at that. But anyway, we're going to run the intro. We'll be right back. Y'all ready to work?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Let's wake up now. It's time. Your stepping down kind of caught them by surprise. So, yeah, can you kind of tell us what went into your decision to step away from coaching right now?
Many of these early offers are what they call contingency offers, meaning the offer is contingent on certain things happening down the road, like a corner growing 1.5 inches.
Let's not undersell this thing. A lot of coaches use this as a recruitment tool. I've lost several players because of 7-on-7 thing. And that's fine. Kids choose where they want to go, but at the same time, that was an intent of doing 7-on-7.
technical issues trying to take us out, man. They're trying to take us out. I don't know what is going on around here. Anyway, let me bring everybody else on before I disappear again. After a couple of weeks off focusing on his team as he should, we have Coach Ian Tatum from Walkertown High School.
Pep, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing, Coach?
Man, making it happen every day. For South County Schools, we started back school on Monday, so we're rolling right along. Getting some extra new kids out before we even start games is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Man, everybody's starting next week, so just excited to be here.
Good, man. We're glad to have you, man. The JV defense coordinator who will make his debut on Thursday at Palisades High School, and I will be there to watch him in action. Adam Big Eye Shelby Weber from Independence.
Oh, man, I got to prep now since you coming.
You told me to come.
Nah, what's up, fellas? What's up, Coach Taylor?
What up?
Hey, good thing, man. We don't start school in about another 2 weeks, so it's pretty cool during this time of the year.
Yeah.
But when June hit, it sucks.
Yeah, no doubt.
And the head coach of Mountain Island Charter, who has also been focusing on his team and is back from his hiatus, Coach Dub Robert Washington.
Knockout King.
What's up, fella? Stop it. Hey, cuz, you ain't telling me about your promotion.
Hey, man. I'm just working like. Hey, man, I'm just working hard as the janitor would do, man.
Yeah, congratulations, cuz.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
How you been, man?
Good. I've been great. Cuz trolling me a little bit.
All right, well, we'll leave that at that. And we'll get started. We're going to start with the county rankings as I get everything set up again. All right. Now, for Rowan County, and we're going to fly through this because we got a lot to talk about. So in Rowan County, now the big thing I want to say about Rowan County is when I did, research this looks a certain way on the screen, but I think these teams, especially in the top three, are really close to each other with Salisbury, West Rowan, and North Rowan. Everybody knows that Jamal Rule has left Salisbury and is now at Charlotte Christian. That's a huge loss for that team. They also lost some talented guys to graduation. Quarterback Mike Jeter, for example, being one of them. So they're going to have to replace a lot of production from that team last year on both sides of the ball. West Rowan has some talented guys. We'll talk about one of them in particular on the next slide. But I talked to their coach, and he's very excited. He named 4 or 5 guys that should be standout players for them this year. North Rowan, Coach Truesdale reached out to me last week and wanted some Rowan County love. So we're giving him some Rowan County love. He might not like me in third, but
hey, man. Coach, all right, man.
All right, okay. Yeah,
that's my guy. He'll be all right, Coach.
Okay, well, good. And then Carson's kind of been in this 4th slot the past couple of years. They can't seem to kind of break, have that breakthrough season that, I know Coach wants to have up there. And then South Rowan and East Rowan are still, kind of in that building phase. So thoughts on Rowan County?
I guess I can go, Coach. I used to coach in North Rowan, so I'm used to that whole county right there. This county is strange because like North plays all these teams except for Carson, like in their non-conference, and they're all bigger than them. Like it's all Salisbury's 2A, and the rest of them are 3. And they're 1. So it's they're always trying to play up to them, but they always got athletes. But Salisbury's the man till you knock them out. Coach Kraft does a great job at West Rowan. They always got dudes. North, and I'm sure we'll go over some players in a minute, but when you got a 4-year starter at quarterback, you always have a chance to make some things happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you said, with the rest of them, that's really trying to build it and trying to sustain, something there. And East Rowan has a new coach, so we'll see how it works there.
All right, cool. All right, let's take a look at some players. For Salisbury, Hank Webb is an athlete. He's actually a really talented punter. When you watch some of his clips, all just kind of comes off his foot differently. He's in line to play some quarterback for the Salisbury season, so the really important player there. Evan Kennedy from West Rowan is a very kind of a big play guy. It's about 6', 175. Really great speed at the snap, strong hands. Coach, you mentioned the 4-year starter quarterback for North Rowan, and there he is, Jeremiah Alford. I think he goes by Jay. Really talented kid, makes things happen for that team. Nehemiah Baldwin from Carson is an all-conference player who's returning for that program. Will Klinger, I just wrote about him on Prep Red Zone. I think he's a tough kid. He's a dual threat guy, and he has to deal, with a lot with East Rowan and some offensive line stuff that they got to kind of get worked out. And then Brooks Overcash for South Rowan. Looking at his numbers, he had 14 touchdowns and 4 interceptions last year. And I thought that was impressive. So I wanted to shout him out and give him some love. And we're going to bring on the producer who is now here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening. Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you, man. We're glad to have you. Any other Rowan County players that you might want to shout out here?
I guess. Well, I just talk to kids about the kids that I know.
Go ahead, Coach.
Offensive line at North Rowan. I mean, they were babies when I was there, man. Having to play real early, tackle. Kamari Feimster, Jasper Neely, and Coach Sophia's son plays center for them. Yazi Wagner, he plays D-line for them as well. So they got some linemen out there. It's going to be really, really good. But they're having to replace running back that's all county record holder for rushing yards in Rowan County history. Jemias Morrow, and replace him with a kid named JoJo Tarver, who's a really good athlete, receiver, and running back type kid. So, yeah, North Rowan, you always want to have athletes, man.
Absolutely. The Morrow kid, I was really trying to promote him last season. I thought he was a heck of a player. And it's not because we share the same last name. We are not related, but that kid was special. I don't know what happened to his Twitter. I think he got hacked or something.
No.
And I was trying to find out where he went. So if anyone knows where he went to school, let me know, because I'd love to keep up with him.
I can find out for you, Pep. And he had over 1,000 yards in the playoffs alone rushing. So I kind of tell you how good he was.
I have never heard that. Never heard 1,000 yards just in the playoffs. That's insane. Man.
I only know one person that did it.
Who's that?
His name was Day Brooks of Shelby. I think he did it maybe 2017, something like that. 18, one of the years they won state. He rushed for 1,000 in the playoffs. Kind of crazy. Like it is crazy.
It's very crazy. It's like a whole second season, basically.
Good Lord.
Yeah, they went to the fourth round, lost to Robbinsville.
So he would have went for more.
Yeah.
Coach Doug, you know about Robbinsville.
Yeah, I do. Definitely a strong program.
We played them in the spring, the 22 season. We played them in the third round. That was North Rowan. That's the coldest game I've ever been in. Crazy.
I don't like the mountains. All right. Anyway, let's go to some comments, because we got a lot of comments here. So Armani Bird commented before the show started about Clover. He's a Clover fan. So he's excited about what he saw in the scrimmage against Hunter Huss, and he's got a Region 5A prediction of Northwestern, Clover, Rock Hill, Catawba Ridge, Indian Land, Nation Ford, Fort Mill. That's interesting. There's a lot of talent upstate of South Carolina. I think some of those schools would have some things to say about that ranking right there. And I'm going to talk about South Carolina in a little bit. Let's see. Before I started having issues, the chat administrator said he is here. And yes, we are going to talk about chicken wings toward the end of the show. Please stick around. We have done a lot of research on this. We don't want to waste our research and money and time, for that matter. Let's see here. The chat administrator is on. He is on point, and I'll just leave that up there. So yeah, y'all see what he said. Coach Billups is here. He has a message for you, Coach Dub. Says, look after his daughter. She is at now. Okay.
Man, I got my niece. You already know, Brandon. She an island girl.
All right.
Greatness.
Awesome. All right. Well, Tyrese Williams, we already did Cleveland County, but he's got to shout out Big Shelby. Oh, is he shouting out you, Adam? He might be shouting you out. I'm sorry.
Probably both.
Both.
Okay. It's all one. It's all one thing. It's all together.
Stephanie Reynolds, good to see you, Stephanie. Yeah, well, you know what? I don't care. Yeah, we're gonna talk about food because we like food.
I think that's a positive comment, man. I see that as positive. You I don't know if you saw it that way. I think that's
well, you know, I get defensive because you know we have to bring the knowledge to the people.
Well, see, that's my team mom, and Steph, I need you to get on these parents about paying for pregame meals on Friday. We're gonna be eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Well, I'll charge you for that endorsement time right there. All right. Let's move on to the next county, and that is Stanley County. And Shaquan, our photographer and videographer, who does work for us behind the scenes, he does not want to come on the show. I keep saying, hey man, you got to put your face out there. But he was at the Stanley County Jamboree on Tuesday, and they treated him really well. Shout out to Coach Little at North Stanley. Shaquan said, you know, he was able to eat free from the concession stand all night, which I need to talk to some of you other schools. You know, I don't know why we got to go all the way to Stanley County to get free food, but you know, let's talk about that.
They probably feel that's a big risk, giving us unlimited whole night concessions.
Yeah, and they play with fire, B.
Right. They're not necessarily, you know, there might be the risk and reward might not match up for that. That might be why we haven't got that offer here. Just saying.
Oh man. All right. Well, and that did not influence why North Stanley's number one. It was totally because I feel like they're the best team. That had nothing to do with it. But Albemarle at 2, South Stanley at 3, and then West Stanley at 4. North Stanley, I think they've got the most returning guys here, the most stability within the program. Albemarle does have a couple of important guys coming back. We're going to talk about one of them on the next slide. South Stanley, I think Coach Schenkel's doing a great job with that program. We kind of shouted them out last year. And they were young when they started to turn the corner. So that's very exciting to see what he's doing there. And then West Stanley with Coach Jackson coming in, they got a little bit of rebuilding to do. But I don't think they're going to be at number 4 for a while. Any other thoughts on Stanley County?
Yeah, I want to back up what you said about Coach Jackson. Obviously, Coach Jackson coached years at North Stanley. He helped really rejuvenate that program. He had a couple of Division I players that came from that program a couple years ago. Then he transitioned to Anson County, built that program. So I expect him to keep West Stanley, bring West Stanley up. So I echo that. I think they can roll up the least number 2.
Yeah, it kind of like what I said about Rowan County. I think these guys are close too, because there were some guys that kind of beat each other, and it was kind of, when you looked at last year's results, even with North Stanley, like I think Albemarle beat them in one of the games. So it was kind of just, you know, kind of a little bit of beating up on each other, but North Stanley had the best overall record, and then with the most returning players. So that's why I went with them for the preseason. Some players for Stanley County to stand out. Big OL, Sean Swindell. I just wrote about him on Prep Red Zone, 6'3", 315. Nasty. He plays at Echo of the Whistle. For Albemarle, Kane McClendon at running back. Very strong kid, works hard in the weight room. Was an all-conference player last year. For South Stanley, he's only a sophomore last year. He'll be a junior. Wide receiver Josiah Holt, 35 catches for 600 yards. like 8 touchdowns on the season. And then for West Stanley, linebacker Ben Messamore, I hope I'm saying that right. He is a very talented baseball player, and he had around 95 tackles for West Stanley last season in an all-conference year. Any other Stanley County players anybody wants to mention?
Now, Pep, the McClendon kid is he related to TA?
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I was wondering.
I think the spelling of the last name is different, but that's a good question. No, that's a good question because that would be a really great story. But I think the last name spelling is different on that.
It was like last time McClendon was running the Rock Albemarle, and they were the power. So.
Ooh, good gracious,
Yeah.
man. He might have 1,000 yards in the playoff.
Yeah, man, he was a touchdown machine back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then also with Albemarle, they got a kid named Dre Davis. Dre Davis is a big time track athlete. He also plays football. He's one of those kids where he's a home run. Anytime he touched the ball, it's going to be lights out. So in addition to, looks like they got some weapons down there.
Yeah, another kid for Albemarle, Zion Geiger, was the offensive conference player of the year at receiver as a junior, and also plays safety on defense. So Albemarle's got some guys. North Stanley has a couple other guys that are standouts. It was kind of tough to kind of figure out which way to go on those.
Well, we got a comment. We got Natasha Black. Is that kid related to Dre?
Nishil Davis. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Natasha, if you know, let us know. Is that his real name, or does he just go by? I don't know. That's okay. Oh, she's tagging. Okay, I got you. Okay, Facebook. Yeah, she tagged his mom. So that's what that was.
Gotcha.
Okay, Dudley's fan is here, and they says that they look good against Mallard Creek.
I got some insight. I heard that Dudley receiver core is the biggest and fastest somebody's ever seen. This year coming up.
Listen.
Go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to Coach Hall down there. Coach Hall, the OC, man, he's been doing a great job. Ever since he got the job, he's doing a great job. And man, Dudley, I want to see Dudley versus Grimsley play again, man. I always used to hear about it going to school in Greensboro. It's a shame that those two schools are the two best schools in the area and two of the best schools in the state, arguably top 15 schools in the state, top 20, and they don't play each other, and they're in the same place.
Come on, Grimsley. Come on, Dudley. We gotta make that game happen.
Because it used to be a game. Fact check me, SRT. They used to play every year. Like every year, it was Dudley versus Grimsley. I think everybody in that area kind of played each other. Or I think they all used to be in the same conference.
Well, if somebody from Dudley, because I know the D boys stay up here, if they could fill us in on why that game hasn't happened.
Well, from what I read and on social media, I heard Dudley's been wanting the game again. So you can take that with what you want. That's why I'm here. I heard Dudley been wanting to play. So
well, I can tell you this. It's just knowing them in the track world, because some of those guys, the track team is pretty much the football skill guy. They ain't backing away from nobody. Like when we go out there and we compete, I think we competed at an event that they was at, talking to the track coach. He was actually, I think, one of the DB coaches or receiver coaches, and he was just filling me in, man. Those kids are talented and they don't back down. Like when I tell you, because 1A, 3A ran together for state championship last year, and them boys showed up. Like our boys won the state championship, then they followed up. It was kind of like, it was crazy. Them boys fast. So I believe it. It could possibly be some of the fastest skill players we've ever seen in the state, and that's a lot.
Well, they don't play each other, but Grimsley was down for however long that was. And, then Coach Brown gets hired, They probably stopped playing the game because Grimsley was down. And so now Coach Brown being there for a while, and then they're going to have a new AD coming up. Maybe they can get that game going again.
Yeah, because I'm assuming if you don't, I was assuming when Grimsley went down, that's when Dudley started taking over, and now Dudley's been on top for a while, and Grimsley's won championships, Dudley's won championships, and now it's like everybody want the game, so they can get it done, man. At least scrimmage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can make good money off that.
I know what the scrimmages. Don't get me started on the scrimmages, but a scrimmage is nothing. Make a game happen.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying at least give the scrimmages for the fan if you ain't gonna play each other in the real game.
But see, for me, if you scrimmage somebody, that's kind of like fake beating on your chest stuff, because you can possibly win a scrimmage and not really be the better team because the other team might be working on something. Make the game happen. And obviously, Pep, this should be a duck and smoke segment, by the way. But you make that game happen. All that, this scrimmage and that scrimmage, make the game happen.
So what you're saying is no sparring, book a fight.
Hey, Pep, put that comment up there that you just said.
Okay.
So, yeah, they had a city championship, Dudley, Smith, Page, and Grizzly every year. He graduated in 2006. So it's something that was always done, then it stopped.
Well, I'm glad Dudley led us into a Greensboro segment. But to your point, I think a regional jamboree, and I don't know why we couldn't have like a round robin thing, because Reedsville, we talked about them being a part of that too, and playing, some of those schools.
Well, I know Reedsville plays Page. I know they've been playing Page. But also too with that Reedsville, people understand you don't want that loss.
Yeah, I remember. I remember Reedsville went to play Northwest Guilford, and I was at that game. It was, I don't forget what year that was, 2015, 2016, and Reedsville beat them, and they were chanting "We are 2A" over chanting against the Northwest Guilford fans, and they canceled that game, that series right after that. So
wow.
Yeah, they ain't trying to do that.
Well, coaches, and this is the thing, because I'm caught in the middle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a super old coach, and I'm not a super young coach. So I can remember both eras, where back in the day, the thing was to make the best gate as possible and give the fans the best showing. It didn't matter about the wins and losses. Now, a lot of these coaches are ducking wins and losses. And
all right.
I don't get it. It should be about community. That's why we coach. We coach to have those hype games. We coach to fill the stands. We coach to have bragging rights until next year. Now it's kind of like everybody's front running, and no one wants to schedule games. I don't get it, man.
Well, the way the playoffs are set up, a loss to a dominant, really good record team is almost better than beating a cupcake. I mean,
absolutely,
that's the way it's set up. So, I mean, make the game happen. I'm with you.
Coach Doug, we will bring in your duck and smoke segment.
I need it
next week.
And
I'm just gonna let you go.
And we'll elaborate. Because I want to just call out different schools, because it's not a call out session. It's just a fan. As a fan, even though I'm a high school coach and all of us are coaches up here, at some point, it's stuff we're speaking from a fan standpoint, and for the area, because there's a lot of people that don't have our voice. They can't say, "Hey, coach, we want this game to happen." Make the best games happen in your area. Bring the community together. So we'll finish this game on a duck and smoke next week.
There's your preview. Make sure you're here. Coach Little checking in from North Stanley. Thank you, Coach. He dropped a couple player names of Aiden Allsbrook and Gavin Helms. I looked up Gavin Helms. It's a 6'4" tight end, and I followed him. I don't know why I hadn't followed him, but I'm going to follow him because he looked good in the clips that I saw. So that's Stanley County right there. Thanks for watching, Coach. Iredell County, Chat Administrator. I need to scroll up. There's been a lot of comments. Let's see here. So, chat administrators, Iredell County rankings has Mooresville, Statesville, Lake Norman, Pine Lake, West Iredell, South Iredell, and then North Iredell. A little different. I had Mooresville, Lake Norman, Statesville, West Iredell, Pine Lake, South Iredell, North Iredell, and then Langtree will start this year, but they're only going to play JV football. Thoughts on the Iredell County rankings?
Hey, move Pine Lake up. And I mean, I think it's a good list. I will put Statesville a little higher. I know Rodell, Coach Cowens, and Coach Torrance down there at Statesville, they're modest. You know, they're the type of ones they like being the underdogs. But I know they got a smoker on a squad. They're great coaches. They got the talent. They've been there a couple years. Players are buying in because you have to understand, amongst coaches, we know leaders amongst leaders. And those gentlemen are leaders amongst leaders. And so I think this year's their time. I think they're not going to catch anyone off guard. Well-coached team, also great athletes. But, you know, Mooresville's the king of this group for me, and to prove it otherwise. And I know Lake Norman stayed competitive, but definitely Pine Lake is a sleeper team. I know they ran into Burns last year. And they played a little bit with them, but obviously being a charter school in the trenches, you're going to lose some stuff when you start playing some of these bigger schools that can ground and pound or play a different physical brand. It's just, you know, charter schools in the lottery, and 6'5" guys aren't just walking in your lottery. But I think Coach Trot, you know, I told y'all ever since I've been on the show, anytime we talk about Pine Lake, y'all know I respect that guy to the utmost. He's one of our top area coaches, but I would definitely put them higher. I'm not too familiar with South Iredell or North Iredell. I am familiar with Langtree. Langtree is in all of our conferences except football because they don't have football. Langtree, they're doing it the right way. They're starting off with JV. They're not rushing to get a varsity team. So I think there'll be someone to watch in these rankings as the years come.
All right, good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to put it out there because I know he's going to text me because Austin Charter is one of my best friends in this profession. So shout out to Pine Lake. And last year, their quarterback was a freshman, so watch out for that. If that Mountain Island Charter Pine Lake Prep game was on my bye week, I'd be there. Just putting that out there. Yeah. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good game.
That's going to be a great game. Yep, I agree, Coach.
Yeah, you know, as far as, you know, Pine Lake goes, I know they've lost a couple of talented kids that have come to our CFI showcases. And I know that, you know, it's kind of a loss for them. But, you know, to you guys' point, every year Coach Trotter will tell me that they're not going to be good and to rank them very low.
Hey, listen. Hey, Tatum, you know this. The year, if he ever tell me he's going to be real good, that's when he's bad. I'm telling you. But the thing about Pine Lake, he loses kids every year. He loses kids to bigger schools that's surrounding areas. I know he lost a couple kids to, an in-conference rival. But the one thing about Coach Trot, he's going to take what he has and he's going to set his system around what he has, and they're going to do that, and they're going to execute at that. So shout out to Pine Lake and the rest of the teams that's on this list.
All right. Good stuff. Chat administrator says Statesville will give Hickory a run for a conference title in their conference. Interesting. Hickory's a little outside of our area, but I have seen that. Well, Coach, I saw him against when y'all played him in 7-on-7. And they offensively are absolutely loaded. I mean, loaded. I think everybody's back on that offense, and it is like a machine. Defensively, they lost some guys at graduation, and they're working through that. But, you know, for Statesville, I think they are a very physical team. I think in the passing game, I saw them in 7-on-7. and it looked like they were trying to work through some things offensively at the quarterback spot. And trying to find, the right guy, but I know they're a physical downhill run team. So, um, at the end of the day, I think last year they made a little bit of a run in the playoffs. And to your point about the coaches, those guys are doing an awesome job with that team. Any other thoughts on Iredell County rankings?
My last one, I want to say something about Mooresville.
All right.
The question would be, are they going to continue, if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach, or is it a new style? Is it a new sheriff in town? Is it a new culture? So it's going to be interesting to see what brand of ball, how their culture set for the first couple games. I'm going to be looking for that.
Yeah, I think with Coach Mayo in hand, I think they may lean a little more balanced offensively. With Coach Nixon, we know his background was running the football coming from West Rowan, where they had all this success with Coach Young, all for all those years. And then the growth of Brody Norman at quarterback may allow them, to throw it a little bit more, and the development of Dominic Warren at receiver spot, along with picking up Gavin Barber at tight end. So I think you might see a little more balance on the offensive side of football. But as far as when I went up there, it felt like if anything, there was more player leadership, which is always a good thing. When you get to being a really good team. Some players in Iredell County to shout out. Linebacker Jamari Farmer committed to Indiana. He was the Defensive Conference Player of the Year. Moses Morris will be one of the main featured guys on that Lake Norman offense. Athlete Jihad Sherrill will be on both sides of the ball, and he's got several Division I offers. Mario Spence is a young kid, class of 2027, but 6'2", 210, and when you see kids play JV, and I think this was the right thing to do for them last year. They kept him down, and he just dominated. I mean, his highlights were incredible. So I think he's gonna be a kid that grows into something, to be a big deal. Coach Tatum, you mentioned the quarterback last year for Pine Lake, Cameron Gandy. I had 2 opposing coaches text me about him and say he was going to be really good. South Iredell, Noah Klum is a 6'2", 210 returning middle linebacker who was all conference. And then for North Iredell, athlete Caleb Sales. He's a quarterback, but he's also going to play some defensive back. And North Iredell coach reached out and said he's going to be a standout player for them. Any other players you want to shout out in Iredell County here? The chat administrator must have got busy at work. I was expecting a list of about 10 Mooresville players for sure there. And we kind of talked about Mooresville the other day, doing the other county breakdowns. Trayvon Gaither says he thinks Statesville is better than Lake Norman.
Agreed.
Reasonable conclusion. All right. That being said, here is the Dirty Dozen, the regional poll that is sponsored by the Queen City Senior Bowl.
And Pep, let me say, and it's no knock on no teams or nothing like that, but should we really be? Is it fair to list private schools with the clear advantage amongst public schools?
What's the clear advantage?
NIL. And maybe and it's no knock because it's kids on that side too. But if a kid could go to a school and transfer to a school from one of their top players, go from Reedsville, the number 1 player possibly in the state, could go down to Providence Day, and you look at their, I think a newspaper came out with the top 50, 60 recruits in all of North Carolina. It's like 5 of them from the school. But I mean, Providence Day playing Asheville Christian is not the same as Independence playing Butler. I'm sorry. They should be playing a national schedule. If you got nationally ranked players like that, they should be playing a national schedule. I mean, that's just me. Because Providence Day and Charlotte Christian is not the same. Even though they're playing the same, it ain't the same talent.
So you want to play like IMG?
Yes, because they got IMG talent.
Well, if you look at all the other private schools, like even like the Mather Catholic up in freaking Baltimore, like they're playing everybody, all the big schools around the whole country. I mean, Providence Day, I mean, they're not doing that. I mean, no disrespect. I mean, they are playing, Weddington, great, like awesome. It's gonna be a great game. But like all the rest, they're playing Asheville, cool, great. That's a big program, but they're not going and playing like Mallard Creek's playing Buford. Like that's a big game. They're not going and playing all these other big schools around. I mean, and I'm not saying like you should do that because I don't coach there, but that's what other big schools like that are doing that have all these big time kids. But Coach Dub, I just want to say, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that Kendra Harrison went down there to Providence Day. I'm just saying that. No, Reedsville's in my conference. I'm just saying that. No.
And see, Tatum, I want to preference, what I'm saying, so no one to take it the wrong way. Because again, we're talking about great coaches, we're talking about great players. All I'm saying is the collection of talent. They got a lot of talent. You want to expose that talent. If you got a national level team, expose them on a national level. I mean, honestly, I love that they're playing Weddington, but what is that really doing for your national talent? You play the best of the best. When you go and you see Independence playing Butler, those are 2 evenly matched teams. But most of these teams, I mean, if I don't know, I haven't seen Providence Day schedule, but playing Asheville Christian, what is that doing? And I'm just saying, as a fan, not as Coach Washington at Mountain Island, as a fan of the game, I want to see big time football. I love to be saying that Providence Day went down to beat IMG. I have a Providence Day shirt on. This is our area, right? But come on, man. Like,
yeah, I agree with the part about maybe playing a national schedule at this point. I mean, I can understand. I know y'all said whenever Coach took over, they weren't as good as they were now, right? I think he's built it to something where obviously he has the best talent, a majority of the best talent in North Carolina. And I know even with Coach McFadden being Independence, he told the boys after year 1, he said, I'm going to have y'all playing in big-time games in big-time places, right? I think you may see that with Providence Day. They may play somebody the first, like, Weddington's going to be the best team on their schedule, right? You know what I'm saying? And we're not saying that you're not good, but, like, it's like, a lot of people, like, if you're going to say you're the best, play the best, right? I understand every game can't be a sponsor game, Right. But I think now with the talent that they have or able to get, it'd be cool to at least see them play somebody out of state, not Raven Gap, but play somebody out of state. Like everybody else did it. Like when Mallard Creek was on top, they was playing teams like Dutch Fort. You see Chambers play a team in Virginia. You see Mallard Creek playing teams in Georgia, right? Like you see teams that do it, and nobody's really saying if they're gonna win or lose. We're just letting you know, okay, we think we're the best team in North Carolina, so we're gonna go play somebody else out of state. Yeah,
and see, because I want people to stop talking like, oh, Providence Day recruit. They do not recruit. Providence Day recruits itself. It is what it is. You got an NIL, it recruits itself. Ain't no coaches going to tell kids to come to Providence Day. That's not the case. But if you got that advantage where they can get who they want, let's be honest. They can get who they want. So even in playing like a Weddington, right? Say they beat Weddington. How many of those kids will end up at Providence Day? Because of those dynamics. So, and Pep, if you don't mind, can you pull their schedule up?
Oh, I've got it. So they actually start. They start this week. They're playing, and it's on the next slide. We're going to talk about scrimmages and jamborees, but their regular season starts this week. They play Trinity Christian out of Fayetteville. Then, of course, next week is Weddington, and they Keep Pounding Classic. They've got Asheville Charlotte Catholic, and then they got a couple conference games with Country Day, Christ School, North Raleigh. I think it's North Raleigh Christian, and then they got 2 tough games with Charlotte Christian and Raven Gap, and those are both conference games. And then I think the regular season ends with Charlotte Latin. It's also a conference game.
I mean, someone put up that IMG's begging for teams to play. You know.
Yeah, because you see IMG playing people and they beating people 42 to nothing after the first quarter.
Right, it's like a college money game, basically.
Yeah, both schools got money. I'm sure travel won't be a problem. You got top players in the state. Keandre's a top player in the nation. The big lineman they got is a top player in the nation. So, you know, you can set you got means to travel.
Well, I do remember Coach Greer saying that they want to get to that point in playing, you know, those national
At what
games.
point? I mean, you just signed the number 1 player in the nation. I mean, you got number 1 player in the nation. At what point do you want to get to? Well, maybe next year. Well, maybe next year they might do it because I know Keandre will be back, the quarterback will be back, and Sellers, the wide receiver, will be back. I think maybe another kid will be back. But you got it now.
Some of this stuff, I get what you guys are saying as far as non-conference goes because you have the control on that. But
no, we're not talking about conference.
Right, because I was going to say they have obligations to play the big 4, you know, Country Day, Latin, and Christian, you know, at the very least. And then Raven Gap is a tough game for them. So I would like for them to keep those games, not only, you know, for the toughness, but for the tradition too. But yeah, you guys have a point when it comes to non-conference. And I think, you know, that's something that, you know, they want to do. Asheville is a return game. They started that, you know, series last season. And then the, you know, Karen Belt, you know, was talking about the Panthers setting up, you know, to keep pounding Classic, which is it's a good game for them. They played Northwestern last year in the same thing. So I think they're making steps in the right direction because, like I said last week, this program was not in this place before. And it, you know, and you guys know scheduling takes time. It takes time to think and set things up logistically, and it's got to make sense that way. It's got to make sense financially. And then, you know, to everyone's point, they didn't start here. I mean, I think it would be great if they knew they were going to be this big time power and then they go ahead and schedule that stuff in advance. But I think now, like you were saying, Adam, I think next year they'll have some latitude to make changes and go out and play some of these bigger games.
Peps, they won 3 state championships in a row. In the first one, they lost by like maybe a touchdown or something. So this been coming. Like they've been good for the last 4 or 5 years. We're talking like they're just good now. And again, the thing is, if you're going to back some of that talent, you want that talent. If you got the ranked players, go and play against some of those other ranked teams. Because the thing is, they played an ESPN game, right? Against Charlotte Catholic. And I told y'all what that was about when we put it up. Everybody hyped it up. So they got the star power to bring ESPN to Charlotte or to generate that attention. Go and play IMG. Because what happens is it's going to help some of those kids that's not the number 1 player or not the ranked kids. You start seeing guys like the linebacker that played in Queen City Bowl. Man, he's as good as anybody I've seen play that position, right? But kids like that will get highlighted, not just your number 1. So, I mean, I'm just speaking as a fan.
All right, so for the rankings, any thoughts on where teams are? I'm doing really good this year. I mean, y'all used to argue with me.
Wait, we still reading. Hold on.
It's been up there for 10 minutes.
I just wanted to disagree. No, ain't nothing I can.
Nah, that look about right.
We need some games. We'll have a lot to say then.
Well, a lot of these teams play each other, so I mean,
just don't sell it on the field.
It'd be able to get so
yeah. Hamilton Clark, to kind of close this out, says NIL isn't why kids got to Providence today. There are too many private schools in the area, and kids' parents don't send their kids. Look at how many players on the roster. It might be 9 total good kids that stick out.
I mean, 9 kids can make a difference, though.
Especially when them 9 kids are top in the damn country.
That's an impact, man. If you can pluck 9 kids from somewhere and bring them in, I'm not saying the first part of what he said is wrong, but 9 key players in key positions, 9 starters, that's a big deal.
Well, and also too, and I agree with Hamilton. People aren't going there for NIL deals. Let's be honest. Yeah. And I told you they're not going there because anybody's recruiting. People always gravitated towards some private schools for different reasons. My kids came from private schools, so it might be educational pieces, might be different things. All I'm saying is when you have a roster and you can literally top 50 players in the state, and you got 4 or 5 players that's on that top 50 list, that's all we're saying. I don't care how they got there or whatever the situation is, but you got some of the best players ever assembled in state history.
Yeah, NIL is a cherry on top. That's like, oh, cool. We can get some bread too. Cool. That's what it is.
All right, good discussion. This week, scrimmages and jamborees. You see, there's a lot. Tomorrow, I will be at Palisades, and if you didn't see the beginning of the show, I will be there to support Adam Big Eye Shelby Weber's JV defense. I hope you're ready.
Making his debut. Making his debut, cuz. Hey, cover 0.
Hey,
in the house every time.
Walk them linebackers up in the again. I'm just send them. Go.
Just sit them. Hey, don't drop nobody.
Don't drop. Just in the house.
We want to see it. We want to see it first play. You got to send a message. There is a JV Jamboree also Thursday at Chambers. I don't know who is. Thank you, Trayvon. Says Statesville will be at the Chambers Jamboree Friday. All right. Yeah, you guys let us know. Some of these I know some teams that'll be in attendance, and some I don't. Hickory Ridge Jamboree, I will be there for the first game as our buddy, the engine, Kenneth McClamrock, will take on Ben L. Smith out of Greensboro at 4:30, and I hope it is not killer hot, because that is very early.
Hey, Pep, please get me a Coach Lash interview, please.
A Coach Lash interview?
Yeah. Just give me a Coach Lash interview.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. And then I'll be going to Jan Robinson after that game to cover the Jan Robinson Jamboree, which has 8 teams starting at 6. And then the Chambers Jamboree, as you said, Statesville will be there. I believe Marvin Ridge is going to be there. And of course, Chambers and a couple other schools. Rowan County Jamborees at East Rowan this year. Rob, you guys are in the Gaston County FCA Jamboree playing East Gaston, right?
Yeah, we got East Gaston. Let me run that off real quick. And if y'all in the area, come and see some good Gaston County football. Like I told you, I don't think that we get the credit that we deserve in the county, but we got a lot of good football players. We got a lot of good teams that fly under the radar. So if you're in the area, you want to stop by and see some good football for a good cause, come and drop by and see that Gaston County Jamboree. Let me give you the list real quick. So it'll be Forest View versus West Met. We got East Gaston versus Mountain Island, second game. Third game is Ashbrook versus Hopewell. Fourth game is Stuart Kramer versus East Rutherford.
Okay.
So come and check out some good football.
Interesting inter-county matchups there. Good stuff. Cleveland County Jamboree will be at Burns High School this year, starting Friday at 6. Mr. Muhammad is sharing West Charlotte and Shelby are scrimmaging. That is the first scrimmage in that Jamboree, starting at 6 o'clock. So get there early if you want to see the dub in action. And also, Coach Peavy sharing that Corvian will be in the Cleveland County Jamboree against the Burns in the last game of that Jamboree at 9 p.m. So, you guys be safe traveling out there to check that out.
Hey, let's go 1A, baby. Let's go Corvian.
There you go.
Show them how we get down in the conference.
They
got a stick. They got a squad. Shout out to their coaching staff, Coach Chris. Shout out to y'all.
There you go.
Represent the conference, baby.
The McDonald's Kickoff Classic at Gaffney High School will feature Butler and Independence. Butler playing JL Mann at 8 o'clock, and I think Indy's at 9 o'clock again. Is it 9 o'clock, Adam?
9 o'clock against Gaffney.
Oh, that's late. Good gracious. I almost said I was going to go, but then that's late for me. But that's the second time you guys are playing them down there.
Third. We've been playing down there since DJ's second year.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, his second year. So, this is year 3. Year 4 for him as head coach, but year 3 years going to Gaffney.
All right. Good deal. So you guys be safe traveling down to Gaffney. I know there'll be a lot of people down there. Shaquan will cover the Trinity Christian at Providence Day game. That's a regular season game on Friday. And then I'll be going to the David Sanders commitment announcement on Saturday at 1 p.m. and seeing where he is going to go to school. If you don't know, David Sanders is the number 1 player in the 2025 class by just about everybody in the nation. I believe he's down to Tennessee, Georgia, Nebraska, and one other school. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Hey, Pep, what school you go to?
Providence Day. I just said that.
I just wanted to hear it again. The number 1 what?
All right, we got to keep moving. And then the high school OT Jamboree is Saturday at 6 o'clock at Wake Forest High School. There'll be 8 teams in that Jamboree up in the Raleigh area. Thank you, Trayvon. Ohio State was the 4th school. Appreciate that. Trayvon, you on fire tonight, man. I appreciate you bringing the good information, man. Good stuff. All right. That being said, we have 2 minutes, but we'll go longer than 2 minutes to give you chicken wing analysis. And this is very important. So yesterday, I found out some inside information from a source within the Bojangles organization that they're going to have chicken wings at Bojangles starting today. And I put it in our group chat, and I don't think Coach Dub believed me. So Coach Dub called me and informed me that him and his wife contacted 7 Bojangles in the metro area to confirm that they would have chicken wings.
All right.
And they all stated that this was true. So your friends here at Football Focus Weekly set out today and hit several different Bojangles across the Charlotte region to try out said new chicken wings. Coach Dub, I will let you go first in your analysis of the new. Go ahead.
Let me go last.
You want to go last? Okay.
Before you do, because you got.
All right. Before I go. All right. Coach Tatum, did you know Bojangles has chicken wings?
I did not. I hadn't heard that. Usually, best chicken wings I go and get Carolina Ale House in Winston. We go there after games. We go get wings. That's the spot for us. Those
are good wings. They are. Big Eye, you had some wings. What did you think?
Yeah, they're real good, man. I went and got the Bojangles, just the original 10-piece, and it was very good, man. It was very good, for sure. It was very good. 10 out of 10 for me.
10 out of 10. That is the Bo's classic option if you're going to order. They are lightly seasoned with the seasoning salt. I had the same as well this morning. I thought they were good, but I did feel like the wing was designed for sauce. But I will give more information here shortly. Producer, you had wings
I did
as well.
Definitely solid wing. I think they were pretty good. I'm not saying they'll replace your cravings when you just when you want to go to your favorite wing spot, but if you're in the area, you're already passing the Bojangles, definitely a solid option. Nice alternative if you're not, maybe you don't not feeling the Supremes. Of course, they pair well with the seasoned fries, and just to add this, they're making their own ranch in there, so it's not they don't come with the prepackaged ranch or whatever. They got some ranch they're making in there, and the ranch was on point. So yeah, I had the classic ones and the barbecue both on point.
Are they pretty big? Like how are they?
Normal size. I call them normal. They're not like huge,
nice,
but they're like those micro wings that some places give you. Normal, average.
They're bigger than American Deli.
Oh,
Tatum,
yeah.
If you want to know,
Man, he got hit the show and tell right here. Let's go.
there you go, baby.
There you go. Solid. Definitely solid, man.
Hey, Pep, hold on. Cause I gotta get the fans what they want. See, this is the dipping sauce right here, homemade ranch. And the thing about when you dip in wings, it's the rotation of your wrist. You gotta get in there. You gotta bring it around.
The rotation, man.
It's the rotation. You gotta get around them. So no matter what side of the wing you bite, there's a drip of sauce on it.
Makes sense.
It makes sense, right?
It does. Rotation, man.
Oh goodness.
Wing coach, man. Got out of that wing coach.
Look, I'm a wing coach. I'm here to coach. I'm a life coach too. I told you, coach football, coach life. And a lot of y'all boys out there don't know how to eat. And we're gonna teach y'all how to eat. So the thing about these wings, the buffalo from back in the day is a different buffalo sauce. It's not like the buffalo sauce back in the day was more like a hot sauce. These wings are more garlic based. It's more like a true, buffalo sauce, right? The thing that I would say that would approve it if they could bring back the blue cheese. So when I went and got my 20-piece, I ate some for lunch. I showed y'all the pictures of me eating for lunch. So I went back and got a 20-piece. This is what I'm eating. So we got a Wingstop next door. So I had to go and get the Wingstop blue cheese. But I will say this. The seasoned fry in a homemade ranch is an experience all of its own.
She just rolled up in the Wingstop and was like, "Hey, I got some blue cheese." And they're like, "You want to order something?" You're like, "Nah, I'm good. Just blue cheese."
Look, $1.30.
There you go.
And give me some of them carrots and celery too. Y'all got to know how to eat, baby. And all my players, my parents, they know. Coach know how to eat.
So my thoughts is I had the Bose Classic like Adam had this morning. And then I had the barbecue this afternoon. Because when Coach Dub went to lunch, he got the buffalo. So I said, I know he's got that covered. I think the barbecue was 10 out of 10. It was delicious. They had the right amount of sauce. They didn't oversauce them. They were cooked well. And the Bojangles I went to, which is right outside downtown on 3rd Street, even threw in a wet wipe.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you need a wet wipe.
Nice touch. Nice. Oh, you don't? Okay.
I don't need no wet wipe. What?
So the 5-piece combo comes with a side and drink is $10, and then the 10-piece is $17. So I think that's a little high. But
yeah, that's high. I wonder why my food was so high. I said, dang, I could have went to a 10-piece and fried should not be $17.
Right.
But everyone's raising their price.
Not for your first time either. Like your first time trying it out, you're doing something new. You gonna. But they had the game on lock. They had it for $15. They had the game on lock.
That's what Popeyes has, and you get 12. You can get a 12-wing combo at Popeyes for $15.
That's pretty good.
And they have more sauces.
And
you only giving 3 flavors.
Right. I was going to say Popeyes has double the flavor options. They have 6.
But fellas, y'all looking at it all wrong. right? Football season's coming up.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Football season coming up. You want to go drop by the drive-thru, get you 40 wings, get you some chicken supreme, get you some seasoned fries, biscuits, sweet tea. It's all there. You can host your friends. Matter of fact, Pep, I think we should do that with CFI first Sunday football. Come up, Bojangle Wings.
Where?
Do it. Your house.
I'm with that. I like that idea. Mm-hmm.
Hey, you and your wife are excellent hosts.
Well, yeah, it's time for somebody else to host.
Why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's like stopping running the play if it's working.
If it's
All right,
working.
well, everybody, thanks for watching. We're gonna talk about this after the show, but appreciate everybody watching.
We're getting 8 yards of pop. Let's stop running this. Nah.
Good luck to everybody in scrimmages and jamborees this weekend. If you see us, say hello, meaning me or Shaquan. Next week we'll start week 1, and we'll have somebody new to join the show, which I didn't even told you guys about. So we're gonna have an after show meeting about this hosting this wing thing on NFL week 1 because we're not doing it. Anyway,
and Pat,
good night, everybody.
Pat, real quick, I want to